Internet. My name is Ayla Tesler-Mabe.
My name's Kent Shores.
And today we're going to be talking about the iconic song Thunderstruck by acdc. And we couldn't choose whether we wanted to focus on the lead or the rhythm guitar.
They're both so good.
Exactly. We thought we would just throw them together and do a video that also is really focusing on the interaction between the two parts and what they bring to each other and to the song as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to show you the lead part, which is probably the part a lot of you are pretty familiar with. And we're also going to show you Malcolm's rhythm part. And both parts are just super fun. And whether you gravitate towards lead or rhythm guitar playing, you can get a lot out of learning either part.
Now, how would you describe lead guitar?
Lead guitar players are definitely like the spotlight. They're stealing the show. They're taking all of those guitar solos. A lot of those iconic licks will be played by them too. But a little different from the rhythm guitar player, right?
Totally.
How would you describe it?
Yeah, so I mean, if lead guitar is more emphasis on melody, then I'd say rhythm guitar is obviously more emphasis on rhythm and groove and, you know, just finding different pockets to accentuate, to lay a foundation so that the lead guitar can shine. And, you know, even though the lead guitar might be the part that people recognize more, you often find that if you take the rhythm guitar out, it changes the whole song. And the lead guitar definitely feels and comes across totally different. So
Awesome. Let's dive in.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to dive into the lead part of Thunderstruck. This is the part you probably know, and even if you haven't played it on the guitar, you've heard it for sure. We're going to do it without the open strings in between, just so you have the numbers. So it's, again, all on the B string. We're going to go 12 to 10, 9, 10 to 9, 7, 9, 5, 7, 4, 5, 4, 5 to 4. So I would do that first before you even worry about the open string. Just make sure you know where your left hand or your fretting hand is going to go. So just make sure that you're really comfortable with moving that down. You'll see a lot of people play this with hammer-ons and pull-offs, but if you listen to the recording, you'll hear that Angus is actually picking every single note. That's what makes this really, really challenging. You know, you can definitely do it with the hammer-ons and pull-offs, but it just won't have the same attack that it has in the recording. So let's give this a try with the open strings in between. So in between every single fretted note, we're going to put an open B string. And so I like to pick with everything down, and then the open strings with an up pick. So let's give that a try nice and slow. So let's try it again one more time, even a little bit faster. Let's give it a go.
And then it repeats for a long time.
For pretty much the whole song.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's actually a really great alternate picking exercise to work on just kind of keeping that line going and really consistent through the whole tune.
Yeah.
But that's what makes this really tricky, I find, is getting that right hand happening.
Totally, and not only that, trying to avoid hitting other strings while you're alternate picking. I am pretty sure I read somewhere that when they were recording it, they took all of the strings off of Angus's guitar, other than the B string, or taped them down or something, just so then he didn't have to worry about hitting any other strings. So you could consider doing that. Or not. That I could see that being a problem.
Would probably like ruin the flow of a show, I think. If
Yeah.
you're like, hang on, I got to take 5 strings off before this next tune.
Exactly, and then put them on before the solo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, so long story short, if you're in the studio, you could consider doing something like that. Otherwise...
Or just at home practicing.
Yeah, but it's a
absolutely.
great alternate picking exercise for that reason.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into the rhythm guitar, which, funnily enough, is a part I never really noticed until years after I'd been listening to the song. And all of a sudden when I heard it, the song just became 10 times better.
Yeah, totally.
Man,
Me too.
so good. For, you know, a rock guitar player, Malcolm Young's groove and choice of, you know, what pockets to accentuate in the music, it's just perfect. So
absolutely.
tasty. So the main rhythm guitar part, which you can hear under the, you know, main lead line, is a little something like this. So what's very cool is the left hand is really not doing anything. Or, I mean, whatever your fretting hand is. I shouldn't assume what hand you're using for your fretting hand. So basically what you want to be doing is playing a B power chord. Not the hardest chord ever, but it's okay if you find it difficult, no worries. But anyways, you're playing that second fret of the A string with your index finger, and then you probably want to reach over with your ring finger and play the 4th fret of the D string. And then with your pinky, you play that 4th fret of the G string. And now, everything else is about your picking hand. And the first thing you want to do for sure, palm mute. Just like that. When you let everything ring out, you're kind of missing out on some of the really interesting percussive elements of the guitar that come through when you palm mute. And then the hardest thing is just, you know, getting that rhythm down, which is like da 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 da. So maybe the first step, if you're trying to learn it, is see if you can actually say the rhythm out loud.
Or maybe even tap it on your leg or something.
That's great too. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And you know, figuring out what direction you want to pick, that can be difficult too. I'm going to play it slowly here. Just take a look at what my picking hand is doing. So you might notice it's this constant back and forth between, you know, the root note here on the A string and picking the D and the G strings. So we start with. And every time I'm playing the D and the G strings, for the most part I'm playing down, up, and then up, like that. Up, down, up, up, up. And that part repeats for a long time.
It really does.
Yeah,
it goes on forever.
It really does.
But it's so good.
It's so good.
You never want it to stop.
I don't. But the first time it does stop is the second pre-chorus. And in case you're wondering what I mean by the pre-chorus, I'm thinking of the part that goes. Because the very first time that part comes in, this part actually continues underneath. But then the second time it comes in, later in the song, it cuts out. Something cool to know. But if you want to learn this part, all power chords, B power chord, sorry, B, I was already thinking ahead to A. A is the next one, and then E. And if you want, you can, you know, get your fingers in position for a full E major chord, but you really just need to be playing the lowest 3 strings to get an E power chord.
Totally.
And then, A, B, and then, big B power chord. The first time that happens, you know, the first time they go, Thunderstruck, in the song. There's just a big P power chord. And then throughout the verse, again, this main part keeps going. There's also just a B power chord that comes in. They must have overdubbed that, and it just rings out for 4 bars at a time. Like. I think you get the idea. You'll hear it if you listen to the song.
Totally. I think the 2 with the power chord, this is one of the few times where I think you have to use that 3-finger power chord and not the 2. I find that effect on the beginning really needs that 3rd string in there.
Totally.
I mean, like if this is too hard, you can of course use the 2-finger power chord, but that 3 is like really gives it that extra.
Oh yeah.
Extra.
Rock and roll energy.
Yeah, rock and roll. Yeah, there you go. I like that. Yeah,
totally. And then something interesting I noticed, the second time this part comes in, I guess the second pre-chorus, it sounds to me like they're playing that E power chord up here because you can hear someone sliding down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if that was overdubbed or if that was like in the part. It's a little hard to
I've never noticed that before. I have to re-listen to that. That sounds awesome.
Because I heard all this sliding going on. I'm like, well, they must be playing it up here. And in some of the live versions, you could see Malcolm coming up here to play that chord. Sliding down. Now that has rock and roll energy too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And the last rhythm part I want to talk about, just because if we're looking at the intro and the pre-chorus, I think we kind of have to look at the chorus, right?
Yeah, makes sense to me. We can't skip anything here.
No way. Well, I mean, we are going to skip parts.
Yeah, minus the end that we're skipping.
Yeah, exactly. For the most part, we're going to get all the essential parts. This part, so iconic. There are actually two main parts playing that. If I remember correctly, the lead guitar keeps going through the chorus, right?
Pretty sure, yeah. I think it's like most of the tune.
Yeah, never stops.
Never stops, yeah. It's like the Energizer Bunny.
It's actually very impressive, the stamina required to play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good alternate picking exercise. But this rhythm part also is, I think, a good stamina exercise too. But sorry, I digress. Getting back to the chorus, we got... And then this sort of walk up, where you're playing the open E to the second fret. I personally am using my thumb just because that's what I'm used to doing, but you could totally just play, with your non-thumb fingers.
Your non-thumb.
Right? And then it just repeats. Something else that's pretty cool that I want to point out is there's another part that plays. It's almost the same, but instead of that walk up, we end up with this D chord where you actually mostly focus on playing the lower strings, which is not the norm for playing a D chord.
No.
It sure isn't. Actually, why don't we try putting those parts together?
Do it. Which one do you want to do?
I'll play the one with the big D chord, and then you can play the
Yeah, sweet, love it.
Is your amp on? Okay,
yes.
There we go. All right, let's hear what that sounds like when we put them together. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, it's not. There we go.
There we go. That's such a classic. You're like ready to go.
I know, it's happened to me so many times.
Oh my God, when you're playing a show and that happens, you're like, this is the worst moment of my live music career.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah.
But you recover.
Yeah,
Life goes on.
Yeah. And it's pretty funny looking back every time that's happened.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right.
Sub-lesson within this lesson. Make sure your amp's on.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have any like pedals that are, messing with the signal.
Right? Yeah.
All right. Let's try again.
Take two.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, exactly. All right, so there was the lead guitar. All right, so there are the two parts, lead guitar and rhythm guitar. Hopefully this video gave you a little bit of an idea of what you might gravitate towards more.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on if you like the groove in music more, or if you like melodic parts of music more, or maybe you'll find that you like both and you want to learn both. That could be cool too.
Totally, and if you have a buddy that maybe you can invite over, you could play both parts together and switch and see which one you prefer, or you could just use a looper pedal and try both parts out and see how it goes. Feel free to comment below and let us know if you gravitate towards the lead playing or the rhythm playing, or maybe both.
Maybe both. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a lot of fun. The whole point of this is to have fun and hopefully to allow you to make music with more range, even if it's just yourself recording lead and rhythm, or with your friends. Yeah. All right. Have a great day.
See ya.